Hi friends, let us continue with the topic. Now we have discussed about ecotone. Now we will discuss about the next term called ecoline in the ecosystem topic, right? Ecoline. Now what is ecoline and what is the difference between ecotone and ecoline? Now this is the important point to be known. Now what is ecoline? Now ecoline is a gradation from one species to another when there is no sharp boundary between the two, right? Now it is a joint expression of associated community and complex environmental gradients is called ecoline, it seems. Now I will summarize the things, right? Now what is ecoline? Ecoline is a gradation from one ecosystem to another, from one ecosystem to another, right? when there is no when there is no sharp boundary between the two biomes or between the two communities. Sharp boundary between the two communities, right? Now see here, your ecotone is nothing but a sharp boundary between the two communities. Ecoline is nothing but gradation from one ecosystem to another when there is no sharp, and means when there is no ecotone between the two communities, right? Now what does this exactly characterize, right? Now this is nothing but a joint expression of associated communities, done, and their complex environmental gradients complex environmental gradients complex environmental gradients, right? Fine. Now let us start with the characteristics of ecotone. Now what are these characteristics? Now in ecoline, it refers to variation in physico-chemical environment of ecotone. That is, an ecoline indicates thermocline. Now see here, I will summarize the things. Now ecoline refers to variation in physiochemical environments of ecotone, right? It refers to the variation. I'll write here, it refers to variation. Now what are those physiochemical environments? Now the first one is thermocline gradient. Now what this thermocline gradient means? Your temperatures, right? Your temperatures. Now the next one is chemical gradient, chemical gradient, right, means your salinity in the water. One example, right? Now one more, third one is, right, pycnoclean gradient. Pycnoclean gradient. Now observe here, what is pycnoclean gradient? Now it shows you the variations in density of water, density of water, right? Now see here, echo line helps you to know the variation in thermocline gradient, chemical gradient, and pycnocline gradient. Now again, echocline refers to the variation in forms of species, variation in forms of species, and also their genetic differences, right? How this variation in forms of species identified? Based on their genetic differences, right? Based on their genetic differences. Now got the point? Now who coined the term echoline? Echoline is a term coined by Julian Huxley. Right? Julian Huxley. Now you got the difference between echotone and echoline. The first term itself says it is a sharp boundary, echotone is, but if there is no sharp boundary, the gradation from one ecosystem to another will be referred to as echoline. And what are their references I have given there, right? Now focus on this, right? Got the point? Let us go to the next terminologies, right? Now after echotone and echoline, the next term what you have to know in ecosystem is biological spectrum. Now what is this biological spectrum? Biological spectrum. Now what is the exact definition of this? Now biological spectrum consists of living organisms, and they are divided into three domains which are coexisting across various levels of biological organization. Now these are nothing but bacteria, archaea, and eukaryota, right? Now I will summarize this. Now biological spectrum consists of all living organisms, divided into three categories, right, or three domains. You can speak it as domains also. Now how they are divided into three domains, and these living organisms will be coexisting, right, which are coexisting at various levels of biological organization. Likewise in your first trophic, different trophic levels, you can speak many terms like this, right? Now what are these three domains? Now these three domains are bacteria, the second one is archaea, and the third one is eukaryota. Right, now see here, bacteria and archaea are unicellular organisms. Now eukaryota are the organisms which contains DNA. Right, now again these three domains are divided into separate kingdoms, right? Likewise your pieces, reptiles, amphibians, mammals, right? Now as already we said that they exist at various levels of biological organizations, right? Now from a cellular level, now see here, from this unicellular level to the topmost organisms, right? Again this biological spectrum, they are classified basis on adaptation, over unfavorable conditions. Now survival of fittest, what we speak in Darwinian theory. Now in biological spectrum, what we speak as, they are divided or classified basis on adaptation over unfavorable conditions, right? Right, now next one, I'll continue the next one. Now how this biological spectrum, I will explain it in a diagram, right? We already we speak a spectrum now, so that's why. Now this is an ecological pyramid, okay? Right, now let us move on all your biotic components, which means your living organisms, right? Animals, plants, right? Now when you pass on through this biological spectrum, now you will observe all types of living organisms in this ecological pyramid. That's what we explained, different trophic levels, right? Bacteria, right? All types of living organisms or living beings, right? Now your topmost or top carnivores, right? What you speak it as, top animals or top organisms which feed on this secondary organisms, right? Now what this biological spectrum by this diagram says, now this biological spectrum refers to extent of vividness and variety, extent of vividness or variety found in ecosystem, right? Now see here, all the terms in single line, it refers to the extent of vividness and variety found in ecosystem. Now let us go to the next concept called ecological niche. Ecological niche. Now see, these are the terms that you frequently find in ecological system or ecosystem. Right. Now what this ecological niche exactly means, right? It refers to the web of relationships of a member of flora and fauna in a given environment, right? Now see here, it refers to the web of relationships, web of relationships of a member of flora and fauna in a given environment, in a given environment, right? Now let us see the characteristics of ecological niche, right? Now again, in ecological niche, what you can observe is, now you can find out the ways in which an organism fits into an ecological community, right? Now you can observe, I mean, it refers the way in which organism fits into an ecosystem or ecological community. Both are same, right? Don't worry about that. Now let us see the characteristics of ecological niche. Now ecological niche refers to, I mean, it helps to know the role and position of a species in its environment, right? Like how it meets for the food and shelter, and how it survives, and how it reproduces. Now observe here an I'll write it down here, ecological niche, right? Now is the, now it refers to the role and position a species has in its environment, like how it meets, like how it meets for food and shelter, for food and shelter, right? Now this is first one, how it survives, now these are the basic needs, right? Then how it's reproduces, how it reproduces, right? Now see here, the verbal definition of niche is nothing but a place, right? A place, niche, or a closed place. Now, right? Now a next point regarding ecological niche is, now A species niche includes all its interactions with biotic and abiotic factors of the environment. Now, it is advantageous for a species to occupy a niche in an ecosystem because it reduces the amount of competition, right? Now, see here how this point can be summarized, right? I'll write on these things. Now, this ecological niche includes all your biotic and abiotic interactions, abiotic interactions, right? Now, and again, it helps you to know the ecosystem. It helps you to know the ecosystem for the species, where it reduces competition. It reduces competition, right? For resources, to survive, right? Now, this is the next point. Now let us go to the next point in ecological niche. Now again, in ecological niche, overlap between the niche of two species causes the species to compete if resources are limited. This happens through niche partitioning, right? Now observe here, overlap of niches, right? Or we can speak it as overlap between niches of two species what happens here? Now there will be increase in competition, there will be increase in competition for the resources. Am I right or wrong? Yes, surely. If two organisms are competing for same resource, automatically competition will be increased. Now this happens, now overlap of this niche happens due to niche partitioning, right? Niche partitioning. Now this niche partitioning is also called as resource partitioning. Resource partitioning, right? Now again, now see here, I'll sum up this. What is this niche partitioning? Now niche partitioning, species divide the limited sources, species divide the limited sources such as light, food supply, and your habitat, now when this all happens, overlap between the niches happens. Now this is nothing but call your niche partitioning. Now got the points clearly? Done? Yes. Now let us see the factors which affect ecological niche, right? Now what are the factors? Now why this niche overlap happens, why this niche partitioning or resource partitioning happens? Now what are the factors affecting ecological niche? Ecological niche, right? Now see here, I will explain, I will draw the tree diagram regarding this, and I will explain each and every point in detail. Now what are the first factor that affect ecological niche? Behavioral dimension. Behavioral dimension is the first factor, and the next factor is ecological tolerance. Ecological tolerance, right? In behavioral dimension, again there will be two factors. One is your locomotion, how you move, right? And the other behavioral dimension is eating, right? And again, already we have learned about this ecological tolerance. There will be two factors. One is your abiotic components, and the next one is biotic components, right? And again, in abiotic components there will be two factors. The first one is inhospitable, means the conditions where you cannot live. Inhospitable. Now the next one is hospitable, right? Now I'll give few examples regarding abiotic components. Your soil, right? Temperature, gravity. Am I right or wrong? These terms will help you to know whether it is hospitable conditions or inhospitable conditions to live, right? And again, biotic components, there will be two factors. One is hostile, and the other factor is friendly. Now what are your biotic components? Already we have discussed this, right? Your plants, animals, your other creatures will be the biotic components. Now based upon the creatures, animals and plants, the biotic components are divided into hostile and friendly. Friendly means where you can live happily, and hostile means where you will live in difficulties. Now when you live with lions and tigers, is it a friendly environment? No, it will be a hostile environment where you get feared. Now we will discuss about this terms in detail, right? Now the concept of this ecological niche was given by Joseph Grinnell. Sometimes these type of questions will be asked. Ecological niche concept was given by Joseph Grinnell, right? Now observe here, your ecological niche of herbivores is smaller than carnivores, and your ecological niche of carnivores is less than omnivores. So automatically what you can say, omnivores omnivores, ecological niche is largest. Right? One important point to be remembered here. Right? Now, let us discuss these factors in detail in the next video. Right? Thank you.